Okay, let's go ahead and get started here. Just a recap real quick. My name is Jeremy Deegan. I am of the Online Course Igniter podcast. I've been creating online courses for about 8 years. I originally started on the platform Udemy, where that's kind of where I grew my success. And then as I created courses on Udemy, I had people asking me, how do I create online courses? I was co-host of the Online Course Masters podcast with Phil Ebiner. And we did that for a while. It was running really great. And then just with some other life circumstances that he had and other business ventures, he decided to shut it down. Afterward, I decided that I wanted to continue podcasting and talking about online courses, something I'm pretty passionate about now. And so I created the Online Course Igniter podcast. It's been running now for a little over a year. I think I started at the end of 2020. And we've got about 70 episodes in the bank. I've created a blog, and in that time, I've been coaching and consulting and helping people learn how to create online courses. I'm currently putting together a program, and we'll have that out shortly. And to anyone who I've been coaching and helping out will have access to that information. So that's a little bit backstory about me. I've got a family, a wife, and kids. Let me let this person in real quick. And as I said earlier, we like to travel, and we've been traveling all over the country for the past 3 years and just have seen some really exciting places and have met some really great people. It's been, amazing to be able to do online business from my computer, from a coffee shop, a library, or my house. I get to homeschool the kids and be home with them all day and help raise them. And it's just been a really exciting adventure. So that's a little bit about me. Hey, Jake, how's it going? Nice to see you here. Glad you could join us. We'll go ahead and we'll get started into the training. I just wanted to go ahead and introduce myself and let you know a little bit about me. So I'm going to share my screen here. Okay, everyone let me know in the chats. Can you see the title screen, How to Build an Audience Without Wasting Money on Advertising? Just let me know. Awesome. Cool. Very good. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about building an audience, and we're going to talk about specifically the way that I like to build audiences. There's many ways to build audiences. This is the one that I found to be giving me the biggest return on investment for my time and my money. And it's something that I really enjoy doing, something I've actually been doing for quite a while. So how to build an audience without wasting money on advertising. Now, if you are watching the replay of this anywhere, if you head over to the website link there, onlinecoursetraining.com, you can sign up for these free trainings on Thursday. I'm going to be doing a free training every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern time or 10 a.m. Pacific time. Each week, I'll pick a different topic. It'll be kind of random. I get these topics from the Facebook community. So if you go to onlinecourseigniter.com/community, you can join our Facebook group. I ask lots of questions in that group. I talk to a lot of people, and I find out what people are struggling with. And so I take that information and I compile it into training. I'm going to do a new training each Thursday, so you can go sign up. You do have to sign up to attend the free training because it's through Zoom, and I'll send you a link. With that link, you can use the same link every week to join the training. You don't have to keep signing up over and over again. But I will take these videos and I will put them out onto a web page so that once they are done being live, they are uploaded, and then you can watch the trainings in the future. So you will have access to that if you sign up also. So just want to give you a little heads up there. So let me go over to this screen. So let's talk about what to expect in this training. These are going to be, I wouldn't say quick, probably about 30 minutes or so, but I just want to give you a little, headway about what you can expect in this training and other trainings going forward if you would like to join. So I'm going to give you about 30 minutes of just value. So 30 minutes of just giving you the best value that I can through asking questions, coaching people, creating courses myself, anything that I can do to help you out and give you insight into what I know after the years of experience that I've had, right? We're also going to do 30 additional minutes of Q&A at the end. So if you can watch the replays of these videos, but one of the things that I've added to this is a live question and answer session end of these where you can ask your questions in chat. I'll answer those for you. And then if you join live, you will be able to get your questions asked. So if you're watching the replay and you have a question, you won't be able to, but this is why I recommend coming on live, because you will have the chance to actually come in and view these Q&As live. Let me just take a moment here and see if I can move this chat window over. Zoom is kind of funny in the way that it always lets you have multiple things on the screen at once. That's okay. I'll just go back and forth. So, okay. And also, I want to have fun. I want to create a community. Like, I'm really big about having a community, having people that get together who have like interests. I know from doing this for a long time now, almost a decade, that being an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, a business owner can be quite lonesome sometimes. You're working from the house, maybe you've got your family to talk to, but we are usually really invested into our businesses, and we will sacrifice going out, going partying, going to watch a movie, even spending time with the family sometimes to work on the business. And I know from personal experience that, it can get kind of lonesome sometimes. And it's important to have other people come together. And the great thing about this is we get together that have like-minded interests. Now, we might be in different niches. One person might be teaching quilting and another guitar playing, but we have the same drive. We are entrepreneurs. We are business owners, and we are a community. And I want to build that community. I want to have fun. I want to make it entertaining. So any way that I can do that possible is important to me. Now, I do want you to go ahead and just take a moment and turn off any distractions that you have. So silence your phone, really give me your attention here. I'm going to ask you questions. I'll take pauses in between and just kind of ask you what you think about different things. I want to get feedback from you to see if this is really helping you. My goal is to try to help you the most that I can on these trainings. Sometimes, I will find things important that other people don't find important, and I will explain those, and maybe I need to rephrase them, or sometimes I might, accidentally leave something out. I want to make sure that I am fulfilling the most value that I can for you on these trainings. And so all I ask is that you just give me your undivided attention for, about 30 minutes to an hour, somewhere in there. And just, if you could do that, that would be really great. Okay. So first of all, this presentation is going to be for anyone who needs help building an audience, obviously, right? That's the title of the presentation. That's probably why you're here. And maybe you don't have the money or resources to spend on ads. Now, later on, we're going to talk about advertising. I don't think it's terrible. I think that ads are really important to any business, and I think that they're great for scaling. We'll dive deep into that a little later on. But really, this is for anyone who maybe has tried ads before and the ads aren't working, or you spent some money and the ads didn't really convert really well. And you're trying to grow an audience, right? We need an audience. The audience is the bread and butter. It's the leads, it's the people, it's the students that you will acquire, and you have to build an audience. There's no way about it. Without an audience, there's no leads. Without leads, there's no sales. Without sales, you don't have a business. Now, you might have a hobby, you might have a pastime, but you don't have a business. So it's very important that we are building an audience. The sooner the better, because the quicker that you can grow that audience, the better off that you are going to be in the long run. Let me just take a moment here. And I'm just making sure that no one else is coming in. I'm still working out the kinks here. It's been a while since I've done some of these Zoom trainings. I want to make sure that I'm not leaving anyone in the dust. Okay, so you'll hear me take a pause and I'm going back and forth in between screens just to make sure that everyone who is here is here. Okay, so my first question is, what niche is everyone in? So I asked you, where y'all were calling from, and it's great to hear that everyone's from different areas of the world, but I would like to know, what niche are you in? So for me, I started off in graphic design. I was creating graphic design courses like Photoshop, Canva, graphic design theory. I was also doing audio production. So I created a GarageBand course, and I even created a course on a hip hop song. If you ever want to hear me terribly try to rap, you can go listen to the hip hop song course that I created with a buddy of mine. So just let me know in the chat. I want this to be interactive. I want to talk. So make sure that you're answering questions, that you're really, getting in and being a part of this. I don't, I want to make sure that we're having interactions and having that community aspect. So let me know in the comments what niche y'all are in. So we have Emily says she's a life coach. Jake says he doesn't have a niche yet, and Craig is in language teaching. So Emily, what kind of life coach are you? Like, if you had to really drill down maybe a sub niche or specific topic, what would you say is your specialty when it comes to being a coach? And then, Jake, we'll work together on picking a niche. I've talked to you in the past. I know that that's something that you're still just trying to figure out. I've been there before, I know. And so I can definitely help you out. And also, Craig, same question for you. What kind of language teaching do you do? Is it a specific language, or, just give me a little bit of information there. Emily says, I'm in 2 camps, relationship transitions and also small business startup. Awesome. Very cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, Jake, no problem. Very cool. All right. So while Craig's typing here, we'll skip on to the next slide. So the goal for this presentation is to help you build an audience. And why we want to build an audience is so that you can build your authority. So authority is important. It's what gives others the view that you are the expert in your industry. It's what shows people that you know what you're talking about. And honestly, it comes with time. It takes putting yourself out there over and over again until people start to understand that you are the go-to person. I've been creating courses for 8 years. I started co-hosting about 3 or 4 years ago, and I'm still putting myself out there. And, I'm starting to gain traction, that people are starting to understand that Jeremy Deegan knows online courses. And if anyone needs help with creating, marketing, or selling courses, he's the person to come to, right? And so you want to build your authority, and we're going to do that by building your audience, creating relationships, and so forth. You also are going to use the audience, as I mentioned before, to get more leads. So you are using this audience to nurture them, to build a relationship with them, and then turn those into leads, prospects, and buyers, people who will pay you money for your education. And then finally, just to help more people. We want to grow an audience, because the more people that we grow, the bigger impact that we can help on the world. This is probably something that you will find comes after the money. A lot of people get into this game because they're interested in the money. They want to sell a digital product because they know that they can create passive income or replace their day job, or, generate a bunch of wealth. And that's great and everything. But true satisfaction comes from the people that you help. And you might not realize this in the beginning, but when you start getting people responding to you and telling you that your course helped them get a job, help them get money, help them with their relationship, help them learn a new language, any of these types of items, that is where you get real fulfillment and joy from. Money's great. It helps you do things in life that you want to do, but money doesn't naturally satisfy the soul. Helping people does. And that's one of the things that I didn't realize. When I first started, I was just making money, and I was happy to be making money. But then I started getting the reviews and the testimonials, and people saying, hey, I took your Photoshop course and it helped me get a job. That's amazing. And that's what we want to do, right? We want to help people. If you're not in this game to help people, then you shouldn't be in business, any kind of business. Every business, in my eyes, is about helping people. It doesn't matter if you're selling food, or you have a gym, or you're helping people with relationships, or you have an online course. It's all helping people, right? We're in a people business. And so we want to help as many people as possible. So my question is, why do you personally want to build an audience? I gave you some reasons or some examples, but why are you on this call right now? What is the reason that you said, well, he's doing a training and I would like to build an audience? So just give me in the chat some answers. Why do you think it's important to build an audience for yourself? What are you trying to achieve with building an audience yourself? I'm going to grab a quick sip of water and take a look at the answers here. Craig says that my current course helps people pass an English exam. Oh, okay, cool. So, Craig, these are people who English isn't their first language, I assume? So say people from Spain are trying to learn English and pass an English exam. Awesome. Very cool. So why is creating an audience important to you? It's the same with, Jake, Emily, anyone else on the call. And listen, if you're watching a replay of this and there is an area for you to leave comments, maybe it's on a video platform or on a page where you can drop in a comment, answer this question. I love reading those things. I love replying to people. And so if you're watching a replay, even think to yourself or write it down, just think like, why do I want to create an audience? What's the importance of that for me? Okay. Craig says, I don't have a brand. I'm not a language school. I need to get students through the door. Correct. Okay. So we have to build that brand. We have to build that authority. We need to get people into our school. All right. Very good. All right. So I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to tell you about my journey into online courses. So I've kind of mentioned this before, but I started about 8 years ago on a platform called Udemy. Udemy is an online course marketplace. They are kind of like Amazon in the sense that you create a course, you upload it to the platform, and then they will kind of help you with marketing and selling. I say help you because it's not completely hands off like most people think it is. You still have to do marketing and selling, but they do have a search feature on the platform. So if someone types in Photoshop, there's a chance they could see my course and purchase that course. So I started on the Udemy platform about 8 years ago. I put my first course up there, and that first course was on Canva. Canva is a online graphic design program that's free and really awesome. I still use it to this day, and I love it. I put my first course up there. I sent out some coupons, and I reached out to some people. And that first month, I made $24.24. Now, I was completely hooked at this point because all I did was I screencasted myself using Canva and teaching it, and put it on this platform, reached out to some people, and made some money at no investment. I had a t-shirt printing business in the past. And with any kind of brick and mortar business like that, there's a lot of cost involved. You have the building, you have utilities, you have insurance. I had to buy equipment. I had to buy all of the supplies. I had to have stockpiles of t-shirts and different color inks and screens and emulsions and all these different things. And so my first journey into online business was I was selling t-shirts online through direct to print to consumer. And that was really great, but it didn't really work out for me. And then I found out about this online course thing on Udemy. And when I put a course up there and made money, I was hooked. Now, the next month I made like $800 or $900. And then I was really hooked, right? So I was really, really excited about online courses. I've always been kind of a natural teacher, and I love helping and training and things like that. And so I made more courses, but I was relying solely on Udemy for the most part to promote. Now, I was doing some things. I was posting in Facebook groups. I was, trying to reach out to people. I was passing out free coupons and attempts that if they took a free coupon on one course, they might buy another course. Some of that worked, some didn't. But I realized I was like really reliant on the Udemy platform to try to drive sales, and I wanted to take a little more control, right? So I was making decent money, but then I knew that something had to change, and so I was like, what can I do that will help me make more money on this platform other than just solely relying on them? So I see real quick before we get into that, I see some answers pop up here. Jake says he just wants some attention. Nice. Emily says, I'm looking to help as many people as I can, and I'm only one person, so having a course is a good way to get in front of people that I might not otherwise connect with, or even people who can then decide to work with me. Yes, amazing. As a coach, courses are a great way to be able to take your information and put it in a way that people can see you, see how you teach, see how you train, see if they like that information. You can use a course as a lead magnet. They make great lead magnets because everyone signs up for free PDFs. How many of those free PDFs do you read and then take action on? And then how many of them do you download but never even open or read, or you just kind of thumb through it and you're like, yeah, whatever? But a free online course is a great lead magnet because people see it as more valuable, and they'll take the time to go through that course. and they will find value in it. They'll give you their attention, and then they'll be more likely to follow you or purchase from you. Jake says he does really want to help people while helping himself. Yeah, understandable. We're all trying to help ourselves, right? We're trying to support our families and ourselves, and but we do that by helping people, right? Exactly. Okay, so Craig, just save that question. If I forget to come back to it at the end when I do Q&A, I'll answer that question on the Udemy platform. I'll give you some insights on that because I know it very well. So we'll talk about that. Okay. So this is what I decided to do. I decided to take one of my classes, which was GarageBand. GarageBand is an audio production software. You can use it to make music. You can use it to make podcasts, voiceovers, different things like that. I made a class on it because I'd been using it and I enjoyed it. And I was like, making like okay money with it, but it wasn't, anything great. I was like, well, it was broken up into 4 modules. Each module, or a section, I guess you could call it, we had about maybe 12 lessons. I haven't looked at it in a while, but let's say it was 10 or 12 lessons. So I had about 40 videos, 50 videos or whatever. And I was like, let me go ahead and just take the first section and stick that section up on YouTube and just see what happens. And that's what I did. Okay, so you can see that I uploaded these videos back at the end of 2015 and the beginning of 2016. Now there was you don't see all the videos here. There's maybe 10 or 12 of them. And this was an introduction into GarageBand, the software. And so I was talking about the piano roll editor, the hip hop templates, the smart controls, and the score editor. In that course, I created what's called a quick win. My first video was an introduction video. My second video was a quick win. This was a video that was really meant to help someone get a very quick win so that they would want to continue with the course. It's something that I teach people to do. I created a quick win. This video, as you can see, is longer than the other videos. The other videos are about 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 6 minutes. This video was 15 minutes, and it's called How to Make a Rock Song in GarageBand. And it's literally the second video of the course. And before I even teach anyone anything about the software, I just make a quick rock song, and it's not great. It's just very generic, but I make one in the platform so that I can give people an overview of everything the platform can do, or the program GarageBand. And so I create this rock song in GarageBand. I show them all the tools in a quick 15-minute video. And if they follow that, they can make their own rock song very quickly, and they feel a sense of accomplishment. And what I call that a quick win. And it's just giving someone something very actionable very early on that they can do to succeed. And I did that in my course, which was a hit. And when I put it on YouTube, it was a big hit. Okay. Now, this is my personal channel. These videos, a couple years ago, I went ahead and I set them to private. I don't really promote these anymore. I should probably leave them on because this one does really good. But I was going to use my channel for some other things. So you can't find these videos right now. You can see they're all private. But as you can see in my 2-minute videos on YouTube, I was getting about 3,500 views, maybe 8 likes. This video, How to Make a Rock Song in GarageBand, got 18,500 views and 156 likes. There's a couple different reasons for that. I think I hit on a keyword. I think that I was solving a problem, and I really just think that like the video was, a pretty good video. And so I put this up on YouTube and I start getting a lot of traffic, right? And this was really my first like introduction into traffic on my own. Now I had done SEO for companies before in the past, but this was really like, okay, something's working here. Like I got to figure this out. So what I did was in that video, I put in the beginning the title, and then immediately in the front, I wrote enroll today, and I gave them the link to my Udemy course. And then I went on to create the description and information. Now I'm doing a lot of things here. I know some SEO practices. So I'm doing keywords. I'm making sure that the title's in there. And I also know that YouTube will hide the bottom of the description. And so you want to really emphasize the first point and the first couple sentences on YouTube. And so I went ahead and I dropped the link at the top right away so that I could go ahead and promote this course. So out of those, thousands of people who saw that video, they could click on this link and go enroll in my course. I'm going to pop over and just check, make sure there's no questions. Okay, cool. So what happened? I got the #1 spot for GarageBand on Udemy. This is current. I took the screenshot yesterday. I am still holding the #1 spot for GarageBand. I told you that I even made that video private, years ago. I don't know how long. It's been a couple years that I think I made those videos private. So those videos aren't really generating traffic anymore. But what happened on Udemy specifically is I created this YouTube video. It drove a lot of traffic. It made a lot of sales. And then Udemy said, wow, this must be a great course because it's making sales and getting traffic. Let's promote it. So they started promoting it. I started getting more people in my course. And you can see I've got, almost 1,100 reviews on this course now. And as I, got more people, got more reviews, it started climbing up in the ranks and eventually took the #1 spot. You can see here, I have a 4.7 star rating with 1,100 reviews. The guy below me has a 4.6 with 17.5 reviews. We kind of go back and forth. Sometimes he'll jump up, sometimes I will. It all kind of depends. But generally, I maintain the top spot for GarageBand. And I think a large portion of that success was using that YouTube strategy and driving people from YouTube into my course. So this is what that course looks like over time. $23,000 is nothing to shake a stick at, right? It's really great. And I thought that I put the little arrow to show you where it was, but basically, I created that, and where you see those kind of big spikes at the beginning and then it tailors off is around the time that I had that video up there. And like I said, it has continued to drive traffic and boost me up in the top spots. Now, I don't use Udemy anymore. It's been a couple years since I've been on the platform, but my courses are still on there. And you can see this is a current graph. I'm still making, what is that? Maybe about $400 a month passively on that course. So, a 23,000 over 6 years is what, $4,000. So it's not a whole lot of money, but it all adds up to the other courses I've had. This isn't my highest performing courses. Probably ranked like 6th or 7th, but you can see here that by boosting that video with some of that traffic, it has really propelled me in the top spots. And whenever you see these big spikes that are happening, that's usually around Black Friday and January time, you can see that Udemy really promotes my course. And it looks like 1 month, looks like that might have been around March or April. I made $1,000 a month with just that one course, right? So that's pretty awesome. Okay. So what I found was that you could post content and people can find it organically for years to come. This is a little different than things like social media, because in social media, we'll talk about this in a second, you post something and it goes away. But this was something that I had this video out for a couple years and it kept growing in popularity. People were liking and commenting and watching it. And the more they watched it, the more the YouTube algorithm picked up and started displaying it to more people. And I got more people in my course, and then Udemy's algorithm picked up and I started making more sales. So I want to talk about the different types of marketing that are available. So let's take a moment and we will talk about this. Let me hop over, see if, thank you, Jake, saying well done. Yeah, that was pretty awesome. That course is still ranking. I have another course, a graphic design theory course I did with Lindsay Marsh that's still ranking to this day too. So nice little pocket change to have. But we'll talk about Udemy at the end in the Q&A session. I can answer some of your questions on that. Okay. So I thought about this and I was like, there's different types of marketing that you can do out there, and which ones do I feel are the best, or which ones do I prefer? Not saying that any of these are greater or less than the others, but we're going to talk about them. I'm going to tell you the pros and cons of each one. Okay. So the first thing that we have here is search marketing. What I refer to as search marketing, this is inbound. You can see that the top is inbound and the bottom is outbound. Inbound means people are coming to you. Outbound means that you are going to them. So the first one that I have, excuse me, is search. And this is when people are specifically looking for something. They are looking for an answer. This is like YouTube. Like someone might have typed in, how can I make a rock song in GarageBand? And they type that in, they search for it, and YouTube spits out an answer, and that answer is my video. And then they find that video and they like it, they watch it, and so forth. Search is great because I really like search because it really is answering questions, which goes real well into creating educational content. I'll cover this a little bit more later. But basically it's, someone typing something in and they're finding an answer. Now, this might take a little more time because this is an organic growth strategy. So it might take a month or 3 months or 6 months for your organic search queries to populate. However, the great thing is that if you want to create evergreen traffic, this is one of the better ways to do it because it doesn't go away. It lives there and it can continue to get traffic for years to come. So some examples would be YouTube, obviously, having a podcast. So if you've ever been on a podcast network like Apple Podcasts, maybe you typed in a keyword to try to find a specific podcast. Maybe it was like, nurses, or maybe it was language learning, or maybe it was online courses, or it was, elves and dwarves or something, right? Dungeons and Dragons. You're typing in a keyword and they are giving you answers. They're saying, well, here's a podcast based on your search that you were looking for. And then, of course, Google is probably the biggest that everyone knows. And YouTube is owned by Google. So the two biggest engines on the planet are owned by the same company. They really know what they're doing. And if you can get on those platforms, you can really leverage them. So when we talk about Google, Google can find you in many different ways, but generally it's having some kind of blog or website that's answering keywords. It could be a YouTube video that Google is also displaying, but basically that is a search engine that is giving you results based on what you're looking for. The next one is what we call attraction marketing. This means that you're putting yourself out there and that people are seeing your presence and they're liking, trusting, and following you. So this is really the idea of that. People aren't necessarily searching for things, but they're seeing you somewhere and you're attracting them to you by who you are, by your presence, how much they like you, by the way you look, different things like that. The things about attraction marketing is that you have to be pretty consistent and with it. You got to always be in the eyes of people because if you go away, they forget about you. So there's an internet marketer I used to follow. He used to be around all the time. And then he just went to the wayside, haven't heard from him. So I quit following him. I quit going to his blog and checking out his stuff just because I kind of forgot about him. Right. So you have to kind of constantly be present in the eyes of the people. But it does help you build a great relationship with your audience. Reading a blog doesn't necessarily build a relationship with, the person who wrote it. But if you're doing maybe social media and people can see you and hear your voice and the way you talk, then they can grow and like you. Now, I just want to be clear before we move forward, and I probably should have said this at the beginning. I believe that you should at some point try to do all of these or most of these if you can, because I don't feel like one is necessarily better or worse than the others, except for what we're trying to do as online course creators. I know many people who use attraction marketing to gain leads, and they do a superb job at it. It is not my thing. I've learned over the years that, it's just really difficult for me because you have to constantly be present. I'm not someone to go on Instagram and post 6 times a day about what's going on. It's just, it's a little trickier and harder, and I don't enjoy it as much. So I just want to throw that out there that I'm not throwing stones at all of these. I think they're all great in their own form or fashion, but I want to tell you the one that I prefer, that I think will be best for online course creators. So examples of this is Instagram, posting on Instagram, posting on Facebook, or maybe doing TikTok videos. Of course, there's other platforms, Clubhouse, and different things that you could go and try to attract people to you. Let me grab a sip of water real quick. The next one is direct marketing. This means that you are actively, this is now we're down in the outbound section of this graph. We are actively going out to people to talk to them. This means that, people are going out and messaging or calling, cold calling, that kind of stuff. This is tricky because most of the times people don't even know who you are if you have not done this correctly. And you have to educate them. You have to explain to them that you have something to help them out with. And if you don't do it right, this can look like spam. I can't tell you how many times a day I get spam looking messages in my messenger on Facebook. I'm sure y'all get the same, and you don't even read them. You don't even want to talk to the person because you're just like, dude, I know what you're doing. Your profile doesn't look legit. And you are not even like providing any value whatsoever. Now, again, I do know people who do this very well. I know call setters who can take a cold lead, turn them into a warm lead, and send them into a booking funnel. It's amazing. But you got to do it right. And if not done correctly, it can come off really negative. So examples with this would be cold calling, sending out cold emails to people, or messaging people, DMing people through some type of messenger. Finally, we have what's called interruption marketing. Interruption marketing is when you're stopping someone. They're doing something and you're going to interrupt whatever that is that they're doing to show them the material. So this is generally going to be ads, right? An ad is a type of interruption marketing. You're watching TV and an ad comes on the TV and it just interrupted the show that you were watching to show you something. They can be very powerful. They can reinforce your brand. They can get people to do things. You can also get a lot of data very quickly, but they also cost a lot of money if not done correctly. And even if done correctly, they can cost a lot of money. And they can also aggravate people. If you don't have good ads, you can actually aggravate and turn people away. I'm sure that we've all seen ads here that you saw the same ad and you don't like it and you keep getting it over and over again, and it doesn't make you want to buy it. It makes you want to go away from the company, right? So examples would be Google ads, YouTube ads, and Facebook ads. Now, this isn't an exhaustive list. There's all kinds of different ads, right? There's TV ads, there's billboards, there's flyers, there's different types of attraction marketing, there's different types of search, but I just wanted to give you some examples. So out of these examples here, go ahead and tell me in the chat, which ones are you most interested in? Like if you wanted to learn some of these, which ones do you think would probably be the best for your business? Or how would you like to generate your audience? Or what do you think fits your personality best? Is it creating content for people to search for? Is it putting yourself out there to attract people to you? Is it cold calling and doing direct response to people? Or is it, running ads and doing interruption type marketing? Which one of these, let me know in the chat, would you like to learn, or are you really interested in, or do you think would be best for your business? Interested in all but the interrupt one. Yeah. Interruption marketing is great. So the thing about interruption marketing, we'll just, say ads, is ads are a great way to get data very quickly. You do not have to wait. I can put an ad up on Facebook today. You got to give it 3 to 5 days for the algorithm to kick in and really give you good data. But after about a week, I can really tell you if my offer is going to perform or not by running a set of ads. Now, this is the problem with ads. The problem with ads is that people run ads to an offer that is not good. And when you do that, you don't know if the offer is bad or the ad is bad. This is probably the biggest problem with ads. And this is why people go spend a couple $100s on ads. They don't convert. And then they say, ads don't work. They're terrible. I want to do something else. And then they jump to the next one, right? So just a side point talking about ads, since that's part of this conversation here, is you want to make sure that your offer is good before you run ads. Now, I'm not saying ads are bad. I think ads are great, but I don't think people are prepared to run ads when they do run ads. What you need to do is you need to make sure that your offer is converting organically through one of these other methods to prove that you have good marketing, good copywriting, and a good message and a good offer. If you can use an organic method, whatever that is, and people will go hit a landing page and buy your course, you have proven that the offer is good and that your copywriting and your marketing is good and your messaging is on point. When you have that, then you go spend money on ads. And if it doesn't convert, then you know that the ad is the problem because we've proven the offer is good. Does that make sense? So you want to make sure before you go spend a bunch of money on ads that you are really proving that offer and getting that dialed in before moving on to ads. The other thing is people expect to spend too little money to run ads. Someone says, I'm going to run one ad for a couple $100. I'm going to let it sit for 5 days and I'll make some sales and everything will be hunky dory. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. Most people have not run ads before, or they don't know how to run ads properly. The thing about ads is you have to create many variations. You have to test many variations in creative. So when I run ads, I will create an image with a button and a description, and I might test 10 different headlines. And each one might be $5, and I'll run that for 5 days. Excuse me. So that means that I spent $5, let's say $5 an ad on 10 ads, $50 a day for 5 days, $250 a week just to see how the headline performs. Then I will take the best headline and I'll run 10 ads and change the image. And then I'll run 10 ads and change the description. And then I'll run 10 ads and I'll change the button. And I've done 4 sets of 250. I will spend $1,000 in ads just to find a winner that I can put now money behind to generate income. So there is a false notion that ads are easy and you're just going to pop on $50 and let it run for a couple of days and you're going to make money. It doesn't work like that. So I think ads are great. I'll do a future training and we will dive into ads and I'll give you some great ad strategies. That's not for this training, but they are good. So yes, we can talk about that in the future. Craig says, I have a strong podcast audience. I need to organize other social media platforms, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Yes, definitely. Social media is great. We'll talk a little bit about this later, but you really want to dial in one and get really good at one before moving on to the next. Attraction and then search is second. Very cool. Yeah. Attraction is great. You really build that relationship, right? Paid advertising scares me. It seems to be all about the numbers and A/B testing, as I've never been good at. Yeah, exactly. And I just explained that, right? It is about A/B testing. Okay. So of all these, the one that we're going to talk about today and the one that I prefer for online courses is going to be search. Search is my favorite out of all of these, kind of for my personality, but also because of the impact that I've seen versus the other ways of going about it. Now, I know that everyone doesn't like search because it takes time, but hopefully in this video, I'll prove to you that the benefits are the negatives. So search traffic, it doesn't cost anything up front generally. I mean, if you create a blog, maybe you have to pay for hosting. YouTube is free. You can create a podcast for free. It gets people who are already looking for information. This is one of the biggest ones, is that you are creating something where people are searching for an information. And once they have that information, you've hooked them and can move them into your course. So if I'm creating a course, if I have a course on how to play guitar and it's an acoustic guitar course, and someone goes into Google and types how to play the G chord on guitar, they're going to get 100 different responses, right? And they're going to have to pick and find one of those. And they find my video and it's how to play a G chord on guitar. They watch the video and they say, okay, great, but what's the next step? What do I do next? Well, I've got 200 videos on guitar playing and they don't know which one to click. It's all over the place. There's no format. Yeah, you can create lists, but generally no one does, and they're not really put together really well. But if I said, hey, look, are you interested in playing guitar? I have a beginner's guitar course on acoustic guitar that will teach you all the chords, how to play songs, the scales, how to hold it. Here, go ahead and enroll it. It is a great transition to take someone who is already searching into the path of an online course. With attraction marketing, you can do it, but I feel like it's a little more complicated because I'm building trust and everything with them by posting online. but now they might not necessarily be searching for that information. And now I got to convince them, or I got to show them that I can help them with my material, right? So I find that the search is probably the best for online courses. Direct response, direct DMing people, I think we all can agree that, that can be really shady if not done correctly. Some people do it really well. I have not perfected it. And you can gather leads for a very long time. This is something else that I think is important, because with attraction marketing and social media, you post on Facebook and the reach is awful right now. I hate to say it, but I get really terrible reach. I know some people who are crushing it. I have not cracked the algorithm, and I've been doing it for a very long time. Whereas I know I could create a new blog, and in 6 months, I could start generating traffic immediately with that blog. And not only that, but that content is online and will be there for a long time. You create content now, and next year people can still find that content and still find you and sign up for your course. People aren't going to find your Facebook post from a year ago. They're not going to find your Facebook or Instagram reels from a year ago. I mean, those go away in a day, right? Not saying you can't do it. I know people who are crushing it with reels right now and stories, but I feel like it's not long-term. If you want to create an evergreen funnel, or you want to have some long-term success, I feel like search traffic is one great way to really focus those efforts. So when I created Online Course Igniter, I was like, well, I want to use search traffic, and I want to get my ideal audience with search traffic, because it's my favorite. I love SEO. I love keyword research. I love creating marketing strategies around this kind of stuff. And I felt like that I needed to do that. So the first thing I did was I created my podcast. Again, I'm the host of the Online Course Igniter podcast. If you go to onlinecourseigniter.com/podcast, you can find it there, or on any of the major platforms. And this graph is just a testament of that information. You can see here that it just continues to grow and grow and grow over time. The more episodes I put out, people go on these platforms, they type in online course, and they find my podcast, they sign up for it. My audience grows, the views grow. People who like the podcast come back because they want more. And I think the podcast is a great way to show that this is really, working. Another cool aspect too is I post my podcast guests on my blog, and I put their name. And I actually get traffic. I don't have any graphs to show this here, but I actually get traffic for people's names. So I have Natalie, Joel and Natalie Rivera, who teach at the Transformation Academy. I've actually gotten search results to my blog because someone typed in their name, found the podcast episode I did with them, and came to my blog. So again, people searching for names and for different concepts on Google are bringing them to my blog and to my podcast. So that takes me to my blog. If you haven't been, go to onlinecourseigniter.com. You can check out my blog, my podcast. We have our training link up there in our community if you're not a part of that. I wrote this article back in June. This article was how much money can you make from an online course? This was based off of some keyword research that I did. Found out that this was a pretty popular topic. I have a Excel spreadsheet of about 200 keywords that I've generated. We have about 14 or 15 articles on the blog right now, not including the show notes for the podcast. And we're scheduled to create about another 40 or 50 this year. I'm going to be hitting the blog pretty hard. So wrote this article, made it very detailed, a lot of great information. And look at this. If you go into Google, and that Google is always testing and changing, and it could be dependent on your searches. Now, I've tested this on different computers, different IP addresses, incognito mode, and so forth. You might get something different. But generally, if you go type in a phrase similar to how much money can you make from an online course, I'm in the number one spot. I am actually claiming the top featured snippet. I'm also claiming the people who also ask. So if you see that people also ask, how much can you earn from an online course? If you click that drop down, it's also my article. So I have now ranked for this keyword, and I'll probably maintain that spot for a long time. Having the number one spot, if anyone Googles anything relating to how much money can online courses make, I'll be the spot. They'll click on it. They'll go to my site. Then they can opt into one of my funnels that I have on there. Here is my graph for my blog. You can see back in September of 2020, at the very beginning of the graph, there wasn't much action going on. This is just, I was building the site and I was putting podcast episodes, show notes up on the site, not really trying to rank for search traffic. I began writing articles about midway last year. You can see that's where that arrow is. I think that article was in June of 2021. So right where that arrow is about the time that I put that post up. I only have 14 articles. Some people see this number. It's a really great number. Compared to other blogs, it's not real high, but for the fact that there's only 14 or 15 articles on the site is actually really good. So this article is bringing in a ton of traffic to my site. Once they hit my site, they can join my Facebook community. They can sign up for the Start Your First Course Challenge. They can opt into the free training that we're doing on Thursdays. And I've been generating leads actively through my website because of one article that's bringing in a ton of traffic on Google, plus the other articles. Some articles don't do that well. This article is doing pretty good and bringing in quite a bit of traffic. So you can see over time, I've had 2,430 clicks come through my site through organic search. This is all organic. This isn't people typing in my website. This isn't someone clicking on a link from somewhere else. This is someone typed something in and landed on my website through Google. So as you can see over time, the traffic steadily grows and brings in consistent traffic into my funnels. So the question that I get asked is, okay, well, great. What platform should you choose, right? So there are many options for search traffic. I gave you some earlier. There's many others that I didn't mention, like having a forum, using Pinterest. Pinterest is a search engine. You go in and you type something you're looking for, like healthy kale salad, and you get a bunch of pins. You click on a pin and it takes you to a website. It's a type of search traffic. Reddit, is another one. There's all kinds of different examples of search traffic. These are my three favorites: Google, YouTube, and podcasting. And just as a side note, when I created the Online Course Igniter brand, I knew that I really wanted to, hold on one second. Let me grab this guy real quick. Someone trying to pop in the group. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Oh, I think I lost my screen. Okay, hold on. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. So I knew that when I was going to create the Online Course Igniter brand, that I wanted a three-pronged approach. I knew I wanted to podcast because I love it. I knew YouTube was very strong because of my previous experience. And I knew that Google was the biggest search engine on the planet. And that was the one I wanted to go for. So what I did was I started with the podcast. I was like, what is kind of the easiest thing for me to get started and something that I really love? So I started with the podcast. I perfected the podcast. And once I got that rolling, then I moved on to Google. And once I got the blog perfected, then I am now doing YouTube this year. YouTube's going to be something that I really focus on this year. So getting a site to rank on Google is easy if you enjoy writing blog content. Getting a site to rank on YouTube is easy if you enjoy recording videos. Oh, someone else popping in. Hold on, guys. Sorry, 1 second. Okay. Got a couple people showing up here. Getting a site to rank on YouTube is easy if you enjoy recording videos. And getting a site to rank on a podcast network is if you enjoy creating audio or talking. So first, if you don't know what to pick, just pick something you enjoy. Because mine was podcasting because I like talking. I'm a very introvert person, but you put a microphone in front of me and I like to talk. So I love having interviews with people, getting to know them and speak with them. But if your thing, is writing, then, create a blog. If your thing is you like creating videos, then go on YouTube. All of these you can do for free. You can start out with no cost investment, and it's going to give you long lasting, evergreen content. If I had to choose one, if someone held a gun to my head and said, you will only use this platform for the rest of your online course journey, you can only pick one, which one is it going to be? I would choose YouTube. YouTube, even though I started with podcasting and it's the last one to get to, it is my favorite. It's the second largest search engine. It's owned by Google. It can recommend videos to other people. And again, as I explained earlier, it's an easy sell for online courses because people are actively looking for answers. They're typing in, how can I make a rock song in GarageBand? They find a video, I explain it, they love the video, and then they go on and buy my course. I know I've interviewed some people who have made millions of dollars with online courses using YouTube. One person is Jacques Hopkins from Piano in 21 Days. If you go to Piano in 21 Days on his YouTube channel, he might have changed it. I haven't looked at it in a while, but he had some pretty basic YouTube videos. He only had a handful of them. He offered a free lead magnet, how to play like 30 songs in like, an hour, or 30 songs in a day or something like that. A really simple PDF. That PDF directed people to his course. His course, I think, started off at $500, $1,000. I think it is now somewhere around there. And he's made over $1 million, probably closer to $2 million now. I interviewed him on the podcast. I don't have the episode in front of me, but if you go to onlinecourseigniter.com and search for Jacques Hopkins, he was one of the earlier podcast episodes. You can listen to his interview, and he made a killing with YouTube. So if I had to pick a favorite, I would say go with YouTube. You're already creating videos for your course. You're already in a course video creation mode. So why not just take some of those videos and put them on YouTube, or take some supplemental videos and stick them on YouTube? We take a look at the comments. I haven't looked down here in a minute. Awesome. Craig says I'm still number one on that blog post. And that was a great interview with Jock. Yeah, Jock's a great guy. I like Jock a lot. He had me on his podcast. I had him on mine. He's a really cool dude. Okay. So what if you don't have any time though? This is the other kind of biggest complaint is like, organic marketing takes a long time, and search analysis and search all this stuff. It takes a while. Yes, you're right. It does take a long time. You will need to eventually build an audience, though, to generate leads for your business. Like, you're going to have to, there's no other way around it. You're going to have to get leads somehow. Either you're going to have to get it through search, attract them to you, directly call them, or interrupt them with ads. And we've talked about these previously in this video. Those who are just tuning in, you might want to catch the replay, but we talked about this. You're going to have to build an audience somehow. So you're going to have to pick one and stick with it. The options are to have people search for the information, attract them to you, send messages, or interrupt them. I just said that. This is how I used to feel. This is not me, even though it's kind of funny because the haircut actually almost looks like my haircut. I would never wear that shirt. That's not my style. But this is how I used to feel: stressed out and overwhelmed. Right? I was just trying to do too much, man. I was going live. I was doing Facebook. I was doing Instagram. I was answering questions. I was DMing people. I was creating content. One point where I was doing all of them. I was literally running ads, DMing people, posting on all the platforms, and trying to create content. And I burned myself out. It was a vicious cycle, and I couldn't take it anymore. I got into a complete kind of depression, burnout phase, and I quit taking action for months. I stopped. It was too much for me. And I didn't know what to do. Right. And so, but I figured out the perfect solution for me, something that I want to present to you. If you would like to do some type of search marketing, as I called it. And that was this. So I created an assembly line of content, or what is also known as batching content. Batching content is when you create a bunch of content at one time and schedule it out in the future. This is something I do with my podcast. For my podcast, I will record 12 to 16 episodes in a 1 week period. It's very intense, but then I can go and edit all that content, and I can schedule it to be published for the next 3 months. So this really helped me out a lot with the stress that I was experiencing, because I felt like I had to do Facebook Lives all the time. If you go back in the group to last year, you will see what I'm talking about. I was literally trying to do a Facebook Live in the group 10 minutes a day, every day. And I did it for a couple months pretty regularly, but I just couldn't maintain it. And when I stopped, the algorithm quit displaying me. My reach went down, and it kind of went away. As you can see, that's not the same when I stopped producing, Google blog posts. The traffic continues to go up, or YouTube video traffic continues to go up. So what I did was I started batching content, and I found like this is what really helped a lot. So what I did was I created an SOP. If you don't know what that is, it's a standard operating procedural manual of the steps to publish a piece of content. When I created my first piece of content, I wrote down everything that I did. So if you're going to create a YouTube video, say, okay, what's the first thing you need to do? I need to outline. What's the next thing I need to do? I need to script it. What's the next thing I need to do? Maybe I need to create an image. I need to create a description. I need to record the video. I need to edit the video. I need to publish. I need to upload it. I wrote down every setting and every single task that I was doing along the way, and I created this document that's very detailed, but I didn't have to think anymore about producing content because I had a very structured document to tell me every day that I wanted to publish content, what to create. So I would create a bunch of content at one time and then use this document to replicate those actions and really help me not have to think about every single time I'm creating content, what to come up with. Then I went and I batched a bunch of recordings. So for instance, like my podcasting, I would go and record 12 or 16 episodes at one time. I will do this with writing. I'll go write 4, 5, 6 articles at one time. Going in the future, I will create, 6 or 12 YouTube videos at one time. And then finally, I began hiring out the talent to handle the editing, producing, and publishing for me. So when I created my podcast, it was all me. I had to do everything. I was the person recording, editing, publishing, creating audiograms that you see in social media, doing the email marketing, everything, But as I created this SOP, the standard operating procedural manual, I was able to now start hiring people out. And so I hired an audio editor. Because I already had written down all my settings and every single thing that I needed to do to edit the podcast, I was able to go ahead and hand that over to him. He knows exactly what to do, and he spits out the podcast edits, and you can't tell what I edited and what he edited because they are identical because of the SOP that I created. Once I did that, I really was able to free up a lot of my time. And then once I hired out those people, I moved on to the next thing, which is blogging. I did the same thing. I wrote the first couple articles. I got my procedure down perfect. Now I have writers who are helping me write for the blog. And it's this culmination of creating this content machine of being able to batch out your episodes, your writing, your YouTube videos, creating a document that explains the process, and then hiring that out to free up your time. This process freed more time than I've ever had in my business, and it really gave me the focus to look at other aspects of the business. So this really it's amazing because what it allows me to do is it allows me to step back on the business and make bigger decisions. I'm no longer sitting there editing every little detail. I'm no longer sitting there having to edit or write every single word or upload to social media. I've hired out the process and people are taking care of that. And now I have a bigger vision for the business that I can look and say, what pieces do I need to adjust? Do I need to affix? Do I need to implement or make better for the business? So my blog, my podcast, and my YouTube channel will continue to grow now with minimal effort on my part. As I begin creating YouTube videos for this year, I will create a SOP for it. I will learn how to do YouTube and create the videos and get a couple up on the platform. And then I'll go hire a video editor and a YouTube person to upload those videos and fill out the tags and the titles and the descriptions and everything, again, freeing my time. So if you don't have too much time, it's because you're too involved in your business. I will say this also. You also need to focus on one. I don't know if I put a slide in this for this. I can't remember. I don't think I did. But I also would say that focus on one in the beginning. I did not move on to blogging until my podcast was in automation mode. I did not move into YouTube until the podcast and the blogging is in automation mode. So you want to make sure that you're not doing too much. I know people who want to have an Instagram and a LinkedIn and a Twitter and a Snapchat and a TikTok and a Clubhouse and all these different things, and they never get good at any of them. So what I would say is figure out who your audience is, what you enjoy doing, pick that, even if it is social media, but just do that one platform to perfection. Then find a way to automate the process and make it easier on you, and then move on to the next platform. So for me, I started with Facebook. Now, once I perfect Facebook, which I still don't feel like I've got perfect, I will move into Instagram. But I won't move into another platform until I perfect Instagram and I've got a process in place. So I just want to throw that caveat in there. Because I created the systems up front to make sure I'm regularly publishing content without spending hours doing live videos, DMing random people, and running ads that sizzle out over time. So these systems that I created freed me up. I'm able to create this traffic. This traffic grows year over year or time over time or month over month, whatever you want to say. But that traffic will continue to grow. The more articles I put on that blog, that graph in a year, I'll show you the graph again and you'll see how much it has grown. If I start creating YouTube content, I have no graphs now. And in a year, I will have a graph. If I let my foot off the brakes a little bit, that content will still be there. People can still find it. And if it's good content, it becomes evergreen content. And if you set up an evergreen funnel with, say, a lead magnet and automation to buy your course, you can pretty much set up a system that runs on autopilot and you don't have to be there all the time doing live videos or messaging people or running ads. The problem with ads is, yeah, they're great, but when you stop running ads, your money goes away because now no one is converting. If I stop with my blog, actually, I haven't written an article on that blog in a couple months and it's still growing. Now, I do have some more articles batched up this week that actually need to go publish, but it will continue to grow over time. And so I just want to say that to me, the search marketing, the search way of going about people finding you and opting into your information is probably one of the better ways that I find that you can do this information. So my question is there anyone here who would like to have a chat with me to see if we can develop a marketing plan for your business and generate leads consistently? I know that me and Craig are actually got a call scheduled, but is there anyone here who would be interested in, I can sit down with you. We can develop a plan. I can tell you what platform you should probably be on, even if it's social media, even if you want to talk about ads. But if you want to have this evergreen strategy, I can really help you out with that. Just let me know in the chat if you would like to maybe hop on a call and see if we can do something for you. If that's something that you're interested in, you can go to this link right here, onlinecourseigniter.com book. It will have you fill out a quick little application. Just give me a little information about where you're at in your business. And then we can hop on a call and we can see how I can help you with your online course or your online course business. We can strategize, which is probably my superpower. I'm very good at big picture. I'm good at strategy. Writing funnels out is one of my favorite things to do because I'm very good about stepping back and seeing how all the pieces fit together. And then we can help you learn how to implement, how to create content. I can help you with hiring VAs. I've hired dozens of people since I've done this in the past, and I can definitely help you out. So if you would like to hop on a call with me, head over to onlinecourseigniter.com/book. And other than that, y'all, thanks for checking out this quick little presentation. I hope it gave you some insight. I hope that I helped you today. And from here on out, I will go ahead and take any question and answers that you had. I know Craig has a question. Let me hop over real quick and I will grab a sip of water and answer that Udemy question. I do remember that one. Okay, awesome, Ravi. Yeah, just head on over to that link, onlinecourseigniter.com/book, and you can sign up and we can hop on a call and talk together. Okay, let me go back and make sure that I just have the exact question that you asked. Okay, okay, hold on one sec. So Craig asks, would you recommend us being on Udemy as well as having our own course platform? This is a loaded question, my friend. So I'm going to give you a couple different opposing views on what I think about this. Now, I started on Udemy and I left Udemy. My courses are still on there, but I'm not active on the platform, nor do I send people to Udemy anymore. If someone I'm coaching or consulting asks me if they should be on Udemy, I will give you kind of the answer. I do not believe that Udemy should be your sole provider for your business. Now, I'm going to give you a caveat. I've made great money on Udemy. I also started 8 years ago when they were kind of in their infancy, and I got some great rankings early on. Udemy is based on a rating system. And because I got a lot of early ratings, I was able to boost a lot of my courses to the top spots. There's a lot of competition on there right now. And the platform is not great for all types of courses. It's good for design, for marketing, for photography, for business, and for programming. Some of the other things like personal development, cooking, languages, sciences, there are courses on there, but I don't feel it's their strong suit. Now they're trying to build it up, but I just don't feel like they're doing that good of a job with it right now. So I know people who've made millions of dollars. There's an instructor who came in. She was originally on Skillshare. She came into Udemy 3-4 years ago, somewhere around there, and she's made $1 million on the platform since that time. So it can be done, but I don't really recommend it being your source of income. And this is the reason why. And this isn't answering your question because you said, should we both be on there and our own platform? I just want to give you my thoughts on this first, and then I'll answer your question directly. The problem with Udemy is that you have no control. So Udemy will price your courses at what they see fit. They've changed their pricing structure many times. So you don't always have control over the pricing. I don't think you can price your course under $10 or over $300. You do not have access to the student information. So when you have your course on your own platform, you can grab the student's email, their name, last name, their address, even. You can get their billing information. You have access to the information to continue to market and sell to those people. When you're in Udemy, they have access to the information. It's like Facebook. Like you don't have access to anyone else's information on Facebook, right? Same thing with Udemy. They frown upon you promoting outside of their platform. So you cannot send people to a lead magnet. You can on what's called a bonus lecture, the last lecture of the course. Conversions are very bad. I've tested it. But you can't get people's email addresses. And so you don't really have a business. It's like Amazon. Like you're making your business off of someone else's business, right? If they change the rules or they decide to kick you off for whatever reason, they can do that. I've seen it happen many times where they didn't like a way an instructor was doing the information and they just removed them from the platform and the instructor lost all their revenue overnight. So first, I would say, I don't think it is best if I'm recommending nowadays people to create their online course. Creating your own audience is a little longer than putting a course on Udemy and making some sales through their search engine. So that's that caveat. I would say that there are 2 times that I would use Udemy. One, I would use it to maybe test an idea. If you've never created an online course before, or you are trying something and you don't know how it's going to perform and you don't want to spend a lot of time putting it on a course platform and set up email marketing and all these different things, you could put it on Udemy and see if it sells. And if maybe you made some sales, and that could be a good reference point to say, okay, I have a winning idea. Let me try that. The other thing that you could do is you could use Udemy in a roundabout way to drive traffic. It's you have to be really careful because you can get banned if not done properly. You can do what's called an educational announcement. They give you 4 of those a month, and you can direct people to a page or YouTube or a podcast that's educational in content, as long as it's not asking people to opt into the information. So for instance, let's say I had a guitar course on my own platform that I sold for $500. And I wanted to try to get people from there from Udemy. Well, what I could do is I could create a small Udemy course, like a beginner's Udemy course for $20 or $10. You can price it whatever you want. They're going to sell it for 20 or $10. So let's say you price it for $50 and they sell it for $10. And a bunch of people enroll because it's so cheap and they like your content. Now, what you can do is 4 times a month, you can send an educational announcement through the Udemy platform. It's like an email inside of their platform and say, hey, I just created a new YouTube video. Why don't you go check it out? It's on how to play the G chord. So someone clicks on that link, they go over to YouTube. On that YouTube channel, not on that video, you say, hey, go ahead and subscribe and sign up or whatever. You get them to do that, but you don't promote anything. You get people to go to your YouTube channel and you build up a subscription base. And then in other videos, that's when you promote your course. So you make some other videos or you make an advertisement video or something and you promote your course. So it's kind of like a long roundabout way to get traffic off of Udemy into your course. Again, you got to be careful not to break their rules. I always recommend people check out the rules and policies, make sure you're not getting in trouble. You can, on your profile, you can put your website and your YouTube channel. So if people check out your profile and click on it, they could end up on your website. I just, I don't know if it's worth the time. Udemy is good if you're going to go all in. The girl that I talked about who made $1 million went all in. She made 14 courses in a year. That's a little over more than, a course and 0.2 a month, and was stressed out. If I introduced you to her and you talk to her, she will tell you she was stressed out so badly. So, she went all in and she busted her butt and she created a Facebook group and she created a bunch of extra content. It wasn't just Udemy. So it's a lot of work and you got to be all in. And then you don't have access to the information. You can't prices. You can set the course for $200 and they can sell it for $20 if they want to. So I would recommend that you probably just stick with your own platform. If you want to pop a course on there and try it out, test an idea, go for it. But I don't always recommend it nowadays. Maybe 6 years ago, I probably would have said, yeah, put one up there, but those were kind of different times. It's getting harder for me to recommend them nowadays. So hopefully that answers your question. You're welcome, Emily. I hope that helps give you some insight into creating an audience. And if you have any questions and you want to talk about traffic strategies, I'm more than happy to do that. Jake says, I think that would be an awesome presentation if you gave a training on the big picture landscape, the hierarchy of importance of things, and do in that order, the big picture SOP. Yes, I can do that. So I will write that down. Thank you for the feedback, Jake. Anyone who has any feedback about this presentation or anything they would like to see in a future presentation, write them down. I am taking notes. Let me write this down here. So I take notes, and if you have any feedback or want to see something in the future, I can do that. This was kind of an overview of traffic strategy. In the future, maybe I could do like an organic or search marketing traffic strategy, or I could do a specific like YouTube strategy. Like this is what I would do with YouTube, or this is how I rank blog posts, because I know a lot about ranking things and keyword research. I really geek out on that stuff. 1 year stress for $1 million. I'll take it. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. The thing is this, Jake, $1 million at $20 a sale. That's the problem I have. I mean, what is that? 500,000 sales, and you don't even keep $20. You keep 37%. So even more sales because of let's say it's a $10 course. You put your course at $100, they sell it for $10, you get $3.70. How many of those are you going to have to make $1 million? It's a little ridiculous. I rather you put together an amazing offer, which I can help you do, and sell your course for $500 or $1,000. How many of those would you have to sell to make $1 million? A lot less. also a lot less stress. Or you put together an amazing program that maybe has some coaching involved, and now you can sell for $3,000, $5,000, or $10,000. So there's a lot of ways of going about this. All I can definitely talk about, all I can create trainings on, all I can discuss with you. If you want to book a call and talk, we can do that. Awesome. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'd love to know how much you made, such as an attractive website for your blog. Looks great. Wait, say that again, Craig. I love to know how you made such an attractive website for your blog and podcast. It looks great. Thank you. I did everything myself. I was, I did graphic design for a while. I built websites for a while. And so I geek out on that kind of stuff, all these slides and everything that you see. It's usually myself. I do have a dream one day that I will have my own graphic designer and they can fulfill all of my needs and desires. But at this point, it's just me doing it and putting it together. I'll take that million too. Well, y'all stick with me and I'll teach you how to make a million. Do you know what attracts more views on YouTube, live streaming or shorter edited videos, or perhaps a mixture? It's going to be a mixture. So there's three things you can do on YouTube. You can live stream, you can do shorts, and you can do longer edited videos. Live streaming, I think, is going to build a relationship like a podcast would and get questions answered. You can also host that video after it's done streaming, which is cool. I've seen guys do webinars live on YouTube, and then they just put the video up on YouTube afterward for people to watch. Then there's shorts. Shorts are relatively new. Shorts are under 1 minute videos. A lot of people are doing a lot of great things with shorts right now. They're kind of like Instagram Reels or Facebook Stories. You just do a quick little video. I think because these are new, the algorithm is sending people to do this. I feel like they're great to build your audience and get subscriptions. However, you're not going to be providing a whole lot of in-depth information like a 10 or 15-minute video would. So they're great for building your audience, but as far as getting people really hooked into your training, I don't think they're going to do that. So I think it would be a mixture. I've seen some good channels where they do a mix. They have shorts, they've got edited videos, and they do live streaming. I would say what's more important than that is being consistent. So coming up with a schedule that you are publishing on a consistent basis. So if you're going to do lives, you do them every Monday at a certain time or every Wednesday at a certain time. If you're going to publish edited videos, every week at the same time. If you're going to do shorts or whatever, you're doing one a day or whatever, but you're being consistent, which is why I like the batching content, because I just burn out when I try to do the live thing or when I try to do shorts. So I like to batch 12 YouTube videos and then schedule them every Tuesday at 9 a.m. for the next 3 months. If I get sick, I got, COVID at the beginning of the year. If I get sick or something happens to me, I know that my videos are still consistently going out. So it's not that you have to be consistent doing the videos. It's that the videos have to be consistently being uploaded to the platform. And I think that's where people have the most success, because what you do is you begin to train your audience to expect those videos. There's a couple of people I follow on YouTube that I look forward to their videos every week because they provide such great content. And so I think really the thing is being consistent is probably more important than anything. So yeah, great little talk, everyone. Let me just stop sharing this for a second here. Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it today. I'm glad y'all joined me. Hopefully you'll be back next Thursday. You will get, if you sign up, again, go to onlinecoursetraining.com if you're watching the replay. If you're sitting here live, you've already signed up, which means you're on the list. And on Monday, I will send you the Thursday's topic of what I chose on what we're going to be talking about. And so hopefully you'll come join me on Thursday. You can get your questions answered. And if not, then if you're on the list, I will send out an email with the replay so that you can go watch that when you're ready. So I just want to thank everyone who came on today. If you're watching this on any platforms, or maybe this video is on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and like it. Let me know in any comments what you thought. If you have any additional questions, I try to respond to any questions on any of the platforms that there are out there. Also, if you want to come hang out in our Facebook group, you can go to onlinecourseigniter.com/community. And we've got a great community of people there hanging out, talking, answering each other's questions, and having a good time. I just want to thank everyone again. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope it was valuable and it helped you. And we will talk soon. See ya.